Gym Dad Fitness. Today we're going to be continuing on with the Toxic Tour. We pillaged. We joined the Warlord here with the Pillager. And now it's time to conquer here. Pretty sweet label still. I'm still a much bigger fan of the Pillager bit. You got to have some some decent ones like this that make the Pillager stand out even more. But overall, I love the theme. I love the consistency and how they didn't just, some people will, they could have just done like Pillager and then like Pillager Pump. But no, they got creative and did like a whole different like theme, kept the theme the same, but different names and different styles, which I love. For instance, like Panda Supplements, right off the bat, they did something similar to this with old, like they had a Komodo Pump and Alpha Gains or something like that. But then they, like, the Superhuman was the main one, and so they ended up just getting boring and changing, and it's like Superhuman Pump, Superhuman Pre, Superhuman, pre-protein. Like, they removed all the names, and so I kind of like it when they have their own little individual thing. But I got a fresh tub here. First run of Conqueror. Ugh. Yeah, I always thought it was kind of cool. I mentioned this before. Uncle Eddie used to pop these bad boys open right live in his review. And it's like, I don't know, something about like opening a fresh tub of pre and like even like seeing it. It was kind of cool, just like that, being with him for that experience. So I'll take that from his book. And we have Creamsicle. Huge orange fan, so I'm sure I'm going to be a big fan of this one. And this bad boy says flat level at 10.3. 10.77. Let me grab my work phone real quick so I can get a photo of this for you guys. I like to make sure I can show you guys on the screen too. Sweet. So 10.77 is where that came in at. And this one's a little lighter on the citrulline, so it's not unreasonable to try to stack both these ones. I'll run this one by itself, Conqueror, but then I'll also stack it with that Warlord too, and just kind of give you some feedback. It's very good. I mean, not like mind-blowing, but another solid flavor. So far, like, of all the flavors, I did the Bottle Rocket, the Creamsicle, and the Pillager Cherry Vanilla. I don't know, maybe I'm just not a big Cherry Vanilla fan, but I saw a review on that one, and they were talking about how delicious it was, and maybe it's just because it's not my jam. But orange has always been one of my go-tos, so I'm a huge fan of the orange. Probably the winner of the three flavors if we're going to get into that. But they're all pretty solid. None are disgusting. They nailed it on everything. But I'll give you the synopsis on the Conqueror here. Gym Dad Fitness, let's get to the effects.
Greetings, my name is Meaty Morsels. That's what I go by on Reddit and Instagram. Look me up on Instagram as Meaty Morsels. And today I am going to be talking about Toxic Masculinity Nutrition Conqueror. This is a great AMP citrate / DMBA workout. And on the ingredients we have 4,000 milligrams of L-citrulline, 2,500 milligrams of beta-alanine, 1,000 milligrams of arginine, 275 milligrams of caffeine anhydrous, 200 milligrams of Aureia gerensis, 200 milligrams of AMP citrate, 50 milligrams of synephrine, and 2 milligrams of huperzine. So this is a pretty good sort of DMBA pre-workout. At one scoop, it's suggested to use as a daily. I wouldn't really use this as a daily because DMBA takes about 10 days to recover from. You get quite accustomed to it pretty quickly. So I've tried it as a daily, and it was just no good the second or third time around. The first day it hit great. Second day it hit sort of half-assed. Third day didn't really hit so much at all. I felt the caffeine, but not so much the DMBA. Now, I waited another 10 days and I tried a scoop and a half. So that's 6,000 milligrams of L-citrulline, 3750 of beta-alanine, 1,500 milligrams of arginine, 412 milligrams of caffeine, 300 milligrams of ryogerensis, 300 milligrams DMBA slash amcitrate, synephrine at 100 milligrams, and huperzine at 4 milligrams. This is a pretty good pre-workout. If you're starting out with high-stim pre-workouts and you're learning about stuff like DMBA, DMHA, DMAA, this is a great sort of entry-level pre-workout. I wouldn't consider it a daily. I would consider it like a good for twice a month maybe. It's pretty good at 1.5 scoops. However, I crash pretty good from DMBA, so at 1.5 scoops with that amount of caffeine and that amount of DMBA, I do need to take a nap. So that's it. It's Meaty Morsels checking in, Toxic Masculinity Nutrition. I want to give a shout out to Fornius, who's on this channel with Gym Dad. I also want to give a shout out to Gym Dad, of course, who invited me to do this. I want to give a shout out to my main man, Snoop Dogg, who's helping me with my nutrition right now. I am garbed like an IRA terrorist. For my main man, Nidgeweasel, you know who you are. This is Meaty Morsels, Toxic Masculinity Nutrition, Conqueror. Great pre-workout, Conqueror DMBA. It's good for starting. 1.5 scoops is good for a stim junkie like myself. Anybody else who's a stim junkie, you can start off at 1 scoop and assess your tolerance, and then try a scoop and a half, see how it works. Watch out for that crash. Thanks for having me.
Gym Dad Fitness, last stop here on the Toxic Tour. We have Toxic Masculinity Conqueror here, and this is episode 3. We've already hit all 3 of the other ones. Probably wondering where the hell my Toxic Masculinity shirt went, but this is the one that was hanging up on the reviews earlier with the back print here. And this is a oversized XL. I'm 6'2", 210. And to wrap it all up, for you guys that are still with me on the tour here, comment below. Tell me how you plan on pillaging the gym, what body part you're going to train, and how you're going to go about pillaging the weights that day. And I'll just pick a random funny comment that I enjoyed, and we'll send you out. We'll, find me on Instagram, and we'll you can take this shirt, or I also have some of my free shirts that don't have anything printed on them. I could, if you're size smaller, they're XLs, but they almost fit like larges if you're not into the oversized style. But we'll work something out. I'll get you some sort of free shirt, either the Toxic Masculinity stuff or even a Gym Dad Fitness one. But yeah, I just wanted to celebrate and try to stimulate the comment section here a little bit for this review. But we have Conqueror with us. Like we saw in the flavor, absolutely delicious. I try this thing at flat level, and then after that, I'll get into experience, but I heaped this thing pretty good. And then next, I kind of did a rounded one, and then I heaped it pretty nicely today. And let's get into the label here. So we have 1 scoop at 10.3 grams. This is 30 servings, and short label. Not much ingredients going on here, so we're gonna breeze through this pretty fast and really delve into the effects. And we have citrulline at 4 milligrams, and 4,000 milligrams, so 4 grams. Beta alanine at 2.5 grams. Arginine at 1 gram. Caffeine anhydrous 275 milligrams, so lower end as well here. I mean, this is interesting. Both of these ones, like Pillager is a little bit higher, but I like the way that they're doing it here, going with the lower caffeine level for what's coming up next. And then we have a Ryogenesis at 200 milligrams, and then amp citrate, that's at DMBA at 200 milligrams. And I absolutely love the fact, I feel like a lot of the amp citrate pre's I've had has alpha yo in it at like 1 gram, 2 grams, and alpha yo is great, but sometimes it can be a little aggressive, almost a little invasive to the euphoric factor. And I've almost felt like amp citrate comes in a little more gently than like a DMHA or DMAA does. It's a little more uh, unique in the way it comes in and feels. And some people think you get a tolerance to it quicker, but I mean, you all gain tolerances to all three of those ones if you ever using it. But I almost think that my experience with amp citrate, first one I ever did was that Rage AF. I want to say maybe Garage Gym Homie reviewed that one, and that was my first DMBA one, and I always really enjoyed it. I don't think this one had Alpha Yo in it, and this no, it had the Yohimbean HCl, but not Alpha Yo. And so the fact that they didn't put Alpha Yo, I really enjoyed that factor. I think the Frenzy Labs one that had amp citrate did have Alpha Yo, and I almost felt like I couldn't really get that euphoric factor. So that I was really excited to see that. And then Synfrane HCl at 50 milligrams and Herprazine A at 2 milligrams. So very short label to wrap it all up there. So let's get into the effects portion. So you take the drink. This baby, it probably, the first time I took it, um, probably within 25 to 30 minutes, you start feeling something brewing. Amp citrate, I feel like the ones I've had in the past two were kind of similar. They're a little bit more builders, just like DMHA, DMBA. But this one comes in that 20, 30-minute mark. You start feeling a little bit of sense of urgency. Nothing crazy, very gentle the way it comes in. Nothing over the top. And then you just kind of get this like really nice, uplifted, motivated, but not like, so much energy. You feel like overwhelmed or anything like that. And you're not like floaty. You're not like, it's not really, I wouldn't describe it as like a bubble. You have like an overall sense of like well-being increased. You also don't have like that the jitteriness, the like gotta move, gotta lift, have to move, otherwise I'm gonna like start freaking out. Like there's none of that factor. It's very like um it's not aggressive like the pillager was. Completely different animal, which is what I love about this 3-pack is the diversity of these pre-workouts. And it kind of reminds me of a little bit like you remember a Juggernaut Nutrition. I know Irate made a comeback, but they had another one called Wild, and it almost feels like that company with the Irate and Wild, they both did the lower caffeine and then had the illicit stems in there as well. And it kind of reminded me of that Irate or the Wild a little bit, the way like how it's like a very productive energy. Like it's not over the top, like floaty to the clouds, euphoric, but you just feel like good. You feel like overall sense of well-being. It's like just enough caffeine to get you going that you're not like missing out. You don't feel like, oh man, I wish this thing would slap a little bit harder. I would say if you're a beginner, like this is a really great intro pre-workout. If you're a beginner and you're looking to like, delve into dip your feet in the water of, the more borderline gray area stimulation. And if you're a stim junkie, take this bad boy at a heaping scoop. You will not be disappointed. Don't go into the experience expecting to get like slapped in the face or lifted up to the clouds. This is one of those ones that I think they even claim it might even be like more of a daily style, but I'd never consider amp citrate a daily because you grow a tolerance. But it's one of those ones you could probably use like a time or 2 week. Spread them out though, so you don't get that tolerance to amp citrate. Make sure whatever pre you're using in between those days doesn't have the DMBA in it. That way you're not gaining that tolerance, and this baby still has that factor. But a really nice pre if you're looking to like lower your caffeine level. And sometimes like if I take too many like high stems, caffeine levels high, I just like after a certain amount of days in a row, you just feel like exhausted. And this one, it's almost kind of refreshing. Like it's probably one of the more healthier like illicit pre-workouts I've ever used, as far as like the way I feel like after my workout and like post workout / next day. And a lot of times I'll take these high stems and it's like, gosh, you get to your next pre-workout the next day and you're like, man, I probably should lay off and do something a little lighter. This one, you're ready to go the next workout, and it just comes in real good. Right? And pumps wise, it's decent. Like the 4 grams is solid. I like it though because I bought the 3-pack, and so I stacked the Pump Lord or the Warlord on top of this one that we reviewed. Still quite a bit of overload on citrulline. Some might say that's excessive or maybe a waste to do that much, but give it a try, see what you think. I enjoyed it. Pump pills too would be a nice little stack for this bad boy. But yeah, this one just feels you good, makes you feel good, like so good that like I'm like looking back at my review. I'm like I'm sorry, GGH and High Stim Ace, if you guys wanted to do your PP Tingle scale and little mini stimmy wimmy scale. You guys, more power to you. I was just feeling so toxic and so masculine after taking that pillager, and the way that thing just gets you that angry, happy, motivated vibe. This one's more of like a little bit more of like an uplifted, mood elevated. It's, a gentle energy. It's not saying that you're not going to want to lift some damn weight, because you're going to feel good and you're going to feel motivated as heck. Like, this would be perfect for something like, I don't like getting overstimmed on like full body movements. So like if I'm hitting some deadlifts or some squats or something that like really gets your heart pumping, I kind of try to avoid those like crazy stims. Like, I'm not going to go taking like a cracked reloaded, or I'm trying to think of another really intense one that really slaps me in the face, like a Barbarian 2. Like, that one's very aggressive. Go want to move a shit ton of weight. I probably usually avoid that one for like DMBA pre, that I try to avoid for like leg day. But this one's a little more gentle on that one, so like you don't have to worry about that situation. And like I said, kind of has its place in your arsenal. I love pre's that are a little different, and the low caffeine, high illicits kind of make it a fun one to mix it up when you're looking to not get stimmed out of your mind, but at the same time still want to feel happy and good. So don't get me wrong, this thing's going to make you want to lift some weights. It's not like some sort of gentle passive pre-workout, but it's completely polar opposite. And that's why I freaking love this toxic masculinity 3-pack in their arsenal. I hate when companies make a really good pre-workout and then they make a pre-workout like almost identical to the last pre-workout they just made, and then they cannibalize each other, and it's hard to justify buying both. But it's like, this one is completely like, they took everything great about Pillager and inversed it. And so like, instead of making something really aggressive and mood elevated, they made something more like a little bit floaty, a little more happier. Like, you just feel like gentle, like not gentle, but like, good and smooth, and just like overall euphoric, but not over the top where you feel like out of your freaking mind. And and so like with Pillager, you're ready to just smash things, listen to some screamo music. This is more of a like, listen to some floaty, good vibes, whatever makes you happy type music. And that's why you got to get your hands on all. Like, I think that you got to at least try both of these bad boys. Get some samples if you can before you snatch the 3-pack. But it's a pretty sweet brand. I've had a blast doing this thing. I've, like I said in my Pillager review, almost got into character, became that toxic masculine Pillager fella. And I mean, just look at that. It's freaking beautiful. These guys nailed it with their branding. A lot of this stuff, these pre-workouts, they're all so similar. They all have like, they have a lot of these places, they probably were, manufactured in the same locations with the same types of ingredients. And so a way to differentiate yourself, and I think a lot of it's placebo effect, is like the labeling and the packaging and stuff like that. Like, it does play a role. Like, yeah, the people say like, whatever the pre, who cares what it looks like? If it works, it works. That's true to an extent. If there's two pre's that feel very similar, your mind might want to choose the one that has the fucking Pillager on the front over another one. So all in all, kind of where I rank this one. Let's get into the scoring. It's rambling on here. So ranking this thing, like, this isn't one of those ones that's just gonna like blow out of the category out of any one element. But like I said, euphoric element, floatiness, give this thing like an 8.5 out of 10. Sense of urgency, it's got enough. It's got just enough. You're not going to be complaining. The overall 7 out of 10, it's not like anything out of over the top or like really impressive on the sense of urgency. Pumps, they weren't bad, weren't terrible. I mean, it's still one of those ones you probably want to stack if you really enjoy the pumps. But you could get away with it just using this product on its own. Probably like a 7 out of 10 too as well. Just raw energy throughout the workout, 7 out of 10. And like we said, the star of the show, ranking it all up, wrapping it all up, is definitely the euphoric, good vibes, floatiness. We're hovering in I said 8.5, but we're almost hovering to the 9-ish category, just because that low caffeine. It's amazing how well you still feel. That Araya must be some good stuff too. I didn't even mention the Araya. I mean, it's still 200 milligrams, which is nothing to sleep on. We've definitely seen more, but definitely pick this one up. Give it a try. Comment below. I really love this brand. I love what they're doing. Great owner of the company. Real nice guy. Talked to him quite a bit on the Instagram, but definitely follow these guys' Instagram account too. They're freaking hilarious. Jim Dad Fitness. Like and subscribe. Thanks for joining. Just signing off my deep thinking sauna thoughts here on the Conqueror pre-workout. It's been like 5 hours since I took it, and I mean, I always watch the review back and just kind of close my eyes and think about it, think about if I missed anything, if there's anything else I need to inform you guys on, make sure I don't leave any stone unturned. But I think this is one of the first reviews, like, I feel like I got nothing to add. I feel like me and Meaty Morsels hit at all the points, all the important things to pass along to you guys. I mean, I feel like it's kind of a given, it being more of a lower caffeine, gentler pre. But I guess I never really mentioned the, a lot of people want to know, like, the come down. Like, if I watched an Excelsior review and just listened to the whole review, I'm talking about the original batch, and didn't watch the thing on the come down, it's like, man, I would have purchased that thing in 2 seconds. But it's like, man, you start hearing these stories of these come downs, makes you think twice. And this one, it is probably one of my favorite, like, come down type pre's, like, especially if you're training in the evenings. Like, I train at like 4 or 5 o'clock, like late afternoons. Maybe if you're a morning trainer, you might want something that slaps you a little bit harder just to get you throughout the day. But you know, I come home, I'm sitting down having dinner with my kids, and I'm getting them in the bath. And sometimes some of the pre's that really slap you in the face or like have real high quantities of LVO, I'm like freaking out a little bit. Like, I'm a little on edge at the dinner table. I'm like, you know, I'm like, gotta go get these kids out of the bathtub. Like, it's hard. It's like, as a parent, man, those are precious moments, dude. You got those high stems flowing through your blood and still feeling the pre-workout effects. It's like, I don't want to be like freaking out, anxiety attacks post-workout on pre when I'm helping my kids get ready for bed and stuff. And this one just, like, it came down so nice. Like, I just like felt like such a good sense of mind, and it wasn't like I was like floating like to the clouds or something. Not like I was like out of, like, you know, in that way. It was more of like, there was no headaches, there's no like dehydration feel afterward. I mean, I stayed pretty damn hydrated throughout the day, I always do, but no, I just felt like overall a good sense of well-being, like, as I was getting the kids to bed and stuff like that. So that's another factor that I always kind of take in the pre's. Trying to think if there's one, Edge of Insanity, really like that one. But I remember getting the kids to bed and stuff, just not like anxiety freak out or anything like that, just like overall, like, oh man, I'm still jittery as heck, I'm still like weightlifting mode right now. Like, some of these pre's, they just they linger a bit, and I think it's more of an LFO factor for me. I love LFO. Used to be like Gigi said, you know, like, him and LFO make amends. They got married, you know, they're happy now. And you know, I was always a big fan of like a gram and a half, bit. Over the years, I've really started enjoying the 2.5 to 3, and even fucking around with like 4 to 5 if, you know, it's got some offsets in it to help you calm down. But that's just a point on going on a ramble about FEO there. But now this one, main conclusion here is this one is it tapers off nicely. It doesn't just like leave you crashed and tired. Like, I felt pretty overall like very at ease in the head, and overall sense of well-being still like kind of came throughout post-workout, but without the crazy energy still. So that's good for, like, you know, late afternoon training and stuff. But you might want a little bit more of a sense of urgency post-workout if you're doing something in the morning, just something to consider on your time of days of workouts and things like that. But overall, awesome pre, man. This was fun. I had a blast doing this series style. And if you guys are still on, stay with me. We are going to take a Gym Dad Fitness, my day job, tax accountant, CPA. I'm never gonna do spring break anymore. So this year, I'm going to Europe. I purchased 4 pre-workouts from Coco Labs, and so we're gonna go on a tour to Europe. We're gonna mentally train with the Europeans, with the Coco Labs, and we'll be there in heart. But we're gonna be grinding, hitting the gym, working hard, doing all that stuff. But like, when we get to the gym, man, we're on vacation. We are gonna be buzzing and feeling good and living life, because that's where I feel my best version of myself at, is pumping some iron. So that's gonna be my vacation this year. So join in for the Coco Labs trip goes to Europe for the next series release. Thanks for joining. We'll catch you guys later.